Blog Talk Radio.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles. Welcome to GFT Radio Show. You're in the building. So just want to welcome everybody. Clinton, you want to say what up?
What's going on, good people? You already know it's your boy Smooth. You know what I mean? We got a great show, fun show lined up for y'all tonight.
Yes.
Hopefully y'all join the conversation.
we making Sunday move again.
Yeah.
Is it now? Is it better?
Yeah, you sound better. You feel me?
Okay.
But
don't judge me harshly. I feel some kind of way.
Oh, you want to finish introducing the show since you rudely interrupted?
Yeah, I rudely interrupted because I'm better than y'all. But anywho, where'd y'all get to? What part? Oh, the people. Hi, y'all. It's Sunny, y'all favorite person. Anywho, if you're listening right now, you're on blogtalkradio.com/GFT Radio Show. Catching the playback, you're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, YouTube, Blog Talk Radio, and I don't know where else. We're everywhere. Cop some merchandise, teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. Like our Facebook page. Follow us on Instagram, IG at GFT. Instagram and Twitter at GFT_radio. If you guys want to call in, 657-383-1155. So if you caught what the show is about, you got questions lined up, hit us up and ask us them. We'll answer. I think I got it all, right?
That was perfect.
I got it all. Jerks. So tonight we decided to do a fun topic because we've been doing serious topics for the last couple of weeks, and we like our serious topics, but sometimes you want to break out and just have a little fun. So that's what we're doing.
Right.
So we're going to play a game. We played it before, 21 questions. We probably won't get to 21, but if we can, that'll be great. But if not, we might do more than 21. Who knows how this day may go. But we're just going to be asking each other questions. The topics can range from something unimportant to very important things like political and stuff like that. Just all types of different topic ranges we're going to be touching on. So if you guys want to call in again, 657-383-1155 to ask us a question that you want us to answer, and we'll answer it as honestly as possible. Clinton be lying, so I don't know how honest he'll be, but you know.
Who be lying? You feel me? You see how she tried to slide that in there? Yeah.
She's questioning your integrity. She's questioning your integrity.
Hold on, but the fact that I slid it in, I was cool, calm, and smooth, as Clint would say. That's his name. Smooth with it. So I kind of like slid it in and did it all nice and fluffy like.
She was making sure you was paying attention. That's what that was.
Exactly. Don't worry, I got something for him. I got something for the night. For real. Who we start off the questions with? Who got the first question?
I got a question. So it's going to be it's not going to be like an important one, but I noticed hit the Twitter world. It had Twitter and the whole entire uproar about a video, and my boy Kev on stage touched on it about people taking showers and not washing their legs or their feet. So my question is, when you get in the shower, do you wash your legs and your feet?
Hold on. What type of savages?
Well, you'll be surprised what people was answering. Some people were saying no.
They don't wash their legs.
The same way we thought white people seasoned chicken, and then we got told differently.
Right.
So hold on. Let me you go ahead first.
This is stuff that has rocked my world.
Yeah. Well, my thing was people were literally upset and feeling some kind of way that the fact that we do wash our legs and our feet. They were like, "What's really going on? Who's that dirty that they got to wash their legs and feet?" I'm like, bruh, it's not a question of that dirty. It's a question of
supposed to be doing
how dirty do you want to. How dirty do you want to end up being after you done sat there and let your legs and feet go unwashed for days at a time? And these are the same people who also answered the fact that they don't shower every day. They shower once a week or twice a week, that kind of stuff. So, you had that other, unexpected turn in the conversation. But yeah, people was like mad crazy with the answers, talking about they let the water drip down their back like they glistening. I'm like, what's really going on, bro? Like if I'm getting in the shower, my whole body better be lathered up. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
People were saying that the water just dripped down. So, Clint, do you wash your feet?
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's mandatory. It is mandatory. You feel me? The first thing I always wash is my hands.
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, that's an even better question for black people. Do you wash your hands when you? Do you wash your hands in the shower as if you're washing your hands? You know what I mean? Like, do you wash your hands in the shower?
You should wash your whole entire body. Like, what's wrong with people?
Yes. Some people don't.
Like, wash your whole body. Period.
Yeah, I don't
understand.
That they don't. Yeah, I've actually been told that about a few people that they don't wash their hands like they do that because they're like, I got the soap and the washcloth in my hand, so I figure I'm good. And I was like, man, I'm like, is it redundant or is it just being, or is it a sense of clean?
I can see how people say it's redundant because if you use a rag with some people, I realized in 2019 or in 2018, I realized that some people don't use wash rags. So when you wash your hands, when you soap up the wash rag or the loofah, whatever you choose when you're in the shower outside of just the soap on your body, you're watering and lathering up. So you're starting off washing your hands. Yes, the water may run down your hands. So I can get why people say it's redundant because you're technically, if you're soaping yourself up with the rag, you're getting soap and water on your hand, and if you're in the shower and the water is touching you, you are washing your hands. Even if you're not intending to, you are.
Right.
So it's not even a thought of I wash my hands. You're washing. You know what I'm saying?
By default.
I understand.
But when you get
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but when you get the rag, you're kind of washing your arms. You're going up your whole.
Yeah. What
you
I'm
should still
saying
be doing
is,
that.
before I even touch any part of my body or anything, I scrub my hands. I want my hands clean first. That's the first thing I wash. I'm talking about before the rag. I'm talking about literally scrubbing. That's the first thing I wash and the last thing I wash. And the last thing I wash, because after I wash my hands, boom, I like to clean my body with my clean hands, boom. And then after I finish washing, before I get out, I scrub my hands again, and then I'm gone. But to answer your question directly, yes, you feel me? I wash my legs and feet. I make it. You feel me? I got a thing about. You feel me? Ugly feet just turn me off. You feel me?
You really got me sitting here thinking about when I get in the shower what I do.
Right.
I mean, it's like
I'm
it's a
sitting here and I'm talking about it. I know I soap and water
to be honest, like
with the rag, and then I go up my arm and all that.
Like Muslims,
and I work my way down.
Like Muslims really have a certain way they wash too. Like they wash one side of their body first. Like they break it down in sections. You feel me? That's really how you feel clean. Like break it down in sections. You feel me? Right side, then you go to the left, or you know what I mean? I think it's face first or
too much
face last, something
process.
like that.
Just wash your ass and be thorough.
Yeah. But everybody don't know everybody. You know what I mean?
Everybody does it differently.
Yeah. You got people. You got people who clown people who only use soap. Some people don't use a rag. Some people just use straight bar soap. You feel me? And you got some people who clown on how you do that. It was a whole thing on Instagram where black people was coming at white people.
Yeah, because black people find out that white people don't use rags.
Yeah, but when you really study it, don't matter. Yeah, but when you research it, it don't matter. To be honest with you, it don't matter.
Yeah.
You can research, you can Google it, you can look it up. You feel me? We think it's a thing, but it's really not.
So that was the one that was the one thing that turned me on to using two washcloths, because when I first heard about people not using washcloths at all, I was probably just out of college, and somebody was telling me how They didn't use washcloths, but they also use certain types of soap or whatever. They were like, they wanted it to be like the most lathering soap, you know what I mean, that kind of thing, So they wanted like everything to be covered in the lather, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm feeling you there, but I didn't understand not using the washcloth. So they explained to me that they asked me the question of, well, how do you wash certain body parts with a washcloth and then turn around and rinse off with a washcloth, right? And I was like, well, I felt like if I was using certain types of soap, I could just rinse, right, and I'm good. But they had a point. Most of the soaps that I used, I had to use the washcloth to wipe the soap off, to get that fresh, clean feeling. So then they were like, so you don't wash your dirty body with a washcloth, and now you're gonna take that same washcloth and put it back on your body as you're rinsing. And it made me think. It was the same reason I stopped taking baths and only take showers, because I hate soaking in dirty water. You know what I mean? No matter how clean the dirty water might look, I feel like I'm getting germs off my body. So I don't want to be simmering in the same germs I just washed off, right? So it made me start using a second washcloth, and mainly like to just take care of my face, sensitive parts, you know what I mean? Just be like, I don't want to be re-germinating germs from my body onto my face, especially because I got sensitive skin anyway. So, I definitely did, a little bit of research on that, because I was kind of like, they got to be crazy, but then I was like, no, I guess that kind of makes sense, and then I kind of looked into it and found out how, it's basically, you're basically going to achieve the same thing if you're using, soap, as long as you're using soap, because, you got some people out here ain't using soap, so.
Exactly. I was so shocked when I seen people, like, because I probably was all raised the same. You use a rag. You feel me? You always used a rag. I always had a rag. But, as I got older and shower, especially when I was in college, you feel me? Sometimes you didn't have a rag. You had the loofah, just had the soap.
Right.
Just had the soap. And then my thing is, when people in the shower, like, how many times do you wash and rinse? You feel me? Like, a lot of people only wash, like, once or twice, and then they out of there. With me, it's a minimum of 3 times. I got to wash. Wow. I got to go over my whole body 3 times. You feel me? I got my daughter doing it 5.
Really?
You feel me? I got my daughter. Yeah. Just so
I can't
just
get
so
my
she
son
knows.
to barely do one.
No, kids. So my daughter start crying as soon as I tell her she gotta take a bath. I took a bath earlier.
Well, my son loves a bath. He can sit in there chilling.
I'm like, you would? I said, yeah. Last night you took a bath. It's a whole new night. You time get your ass in the tub. You feel me? Take a shower. She don't even like take a bath no more. She takes showers. And and when she about to get in the shower, she be like, Daddy, 5 times? I be like, yep, 5 times. She like, I'm going to do it quick, though. I be like, nope. You take your time. You can hit every spot. You feel me? Just do it 5 times. It ain't going to take you too long. It seems like it's long. It really doesn't take you too long.
Yeah, I never really counted the times that I've washed myself. And it's funny because my son loves baths. He hates the shower. He don't like water coming at him. So he's like,
y'all got me feeling
I turned a shower one day, he lost it. Yeah, I turned a shower one day, he lost it. He almost ran out the shower like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what's this? Like, but he loves baths. So, and it's funny because I'm one of them people, like, and it's weird because I like taking baths, but not necessarily, like, I just soak in the tub. But I won't wash myself in the tub. Like, if I want to, like, really wash myself, I'll soak in the tub to relax my body, take that little soak to relax my joints. And then once I'm done with the bath, I turn the shower on and take a full shower. Like, that's weird, but people like, why you do that? I'm like, because I do that. Mm-hmm. That's my thing. The same way I do with my son. He could take a bath, play with his toys, sit in there and hang out. Oh, everything is fine. And towards the end of the bath, I'm like, okay. So then the bath water's now let out, the water's running, and I'm fully washing him. And then it's like, okay, now you can get out. And he's probably like, what the fuck is this? I was ready to get out when my toys left.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I feel the same way about. I feel the same way about baths. I'm like, you know, if and I've done it a few times where the same thing where it was like, you know, you get in the tub, soak, you know, to you know, maybe like I had an injury where I would have to soak and you know, try to let that water and that warmth get to it. The little, I forgot what it was called, the stuff that you put in there to kind of help your muscles. And but you know, once I was done, you know, I'm jumping in the shower, you know, or I'm, you know, taking a full blown shower once I'm done, you know, that kind of thing, just to get the actual dirt off me, you know, or whatever, you know, or even the stuff, you know. So no, I felt the same way. I feel you on that. But yeah, y'all got me out here feeling like a dirt ball. I'm like, man, I washed up like 1.5, maybe 2 times at the most, and I'm out. Rinse off. No, but like I said, when I'm rinsing, I gotta feel completely clean and clear of the soap. Like I don't like that soap feeling on me and stuff like that. Like I've seen people jump out the shower with soap still on them. I'm like, nah, bro, I can't do it. I gotta be fully.
No, but you know what's
funny,
Willie? Being that I have my son, I can't take long showers. Like not unless he like really relaxed or he sleeps. So I perfected the 5-minute shower. Like I get in, get what I gotta, like get all my body real quick and then get out. Like I don't really count how many times I washed up for like 5 minutes and I'm out because I know anything longer than 5 minutes, something in my house is fucked up. Whether he seasoned the floor, put some cat litter someplace where it shouldn't be. Like I can't take a shower now. If he sleeps, now if he sleeps, huh?
I said my whole shower is a whole. Listen, I got my music. I got my.
No, that's what I'm saying. When he sleeps, I can do that. When he sleeps, I can do the music, the candle lit. I'm in the shower with the hot steaming water burning my skin for like 5 minutes without even washing, and then I start washing up, like because like that's my like oh my god, this is relaxing. He sleeps. He's not gonna wake up and do some fucked up shit. So for like 5 minutes, I'm in there burning my skin with the hot water, and then I'm like, okay, now I can wash up. Let me get comfortable. Like that's when I got time to actually do it.
It's crazy because with me, like I gotta have my right playlist. You feel me? I got to start my shower off with the right song. Now, of course, if I'm in a hurry or I got to rush, I can't do all that. But if I got, just a regular day after I come finish working out or working, doing whatever I had to do, I jump in that shower. Yeah, got to start off with the right song. Can't play the wrong song. You feel me? The mood got to be right. The temperature, the water temperature got to be. The steam got to be just right. Everything. I make it a process if I take a shower. But I do got a question. Now this isn't one of my questions. This is actually a question from somebody who I was told them we were doing a show, and what it was. So they had a question. It's kind of a serious question. Shanique. Everybody knows Shanique. That's my daughter's mother. So she had a question. And it's when you think of broken homes, what comes to mind? It's basically two-part. When you think of broken homes, what comes to mind? And can they be fixed?
Okay. I mean, just off the top, I mean, when I think of a broken home, I definitely think of, a situation where maybe a parent left, or I guess basically abandoned the home, or a situation where, there's turmoil because of family issues and things like that. Can it be fixed? I mean, I think when I think of a broken home, I think of it being, I won't say permanently broken, but I think of it being at a point where it's not easily fixable. You know what I mean? If it's easily fixable, if it's just a matter of people realizing they got to communicate better or realizing they got to just do better about, respecting each other's feelings and respecting each other's boundaries and respecting each other's time and that kind of thing. I don't feel like it's a broken home. I feel like there's just issues. You know what I mean? So I feel like when it's a legitimately broken home, that it's more to it than just fixing it. I mean, that there's a person that's done so much that they've kind of rocked the foundations of that home and has probably hurt people in the home physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. You know what I mean? So there's, is there a fix? Yeah, eventually. Will that home ever be the same? Probably not. And it probably won't ever be whole to a point where you feel like these people need to be one whole unit anymore. But you I think you can get to a point where you can basically kind of fix or mend the broken hearts, the psychological aspects of it, through therapy and things like that, and maybe come to a common ground where you can at least just respect each other and work together to do something positive with the experience. That's how I look at it.
All right. So I look at it as like something similar to what Willie said. A broken home is a home where the love and the security is not there. Like you can be raised in a 2-parent household and still be, I feel, in a broken home because of the security and love not be there. Like, how they have parents that are just bad parents, that you better off not being there because you wasn't shit anyway. So I feel like whether or not the parents are absent or whether or not they're there, the home could be broken if there's a lack of love, trust, and security. And I think it can be fixed if people are willing to realize that one is a problem, and also realize that because they're a problem, they actually have to fix it and want to fix it and make the steps to fix it. Because, you can realize it's there, but don't mean you know how to fix it, but go through the process of fixing it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, dope. So with me, growing up, I was told basically a broken home is when either one of the parents aren't in the home. And, it's basically one parent raising the child by themselves and the other one out. They may help or may not help, whether it be the father or the mother. Mm-hmm. So, like, technically growing up, I would be considered growing up in a broken home because, my mom and dad split, and I was here, there. It wasn't like stable. I guess for a while it probably was with my mom, but the older I got in my teenager years, once I started hitting my teenage years, it was, you feel me? I was living here. I was like a nomad. You know what I mean? So technically, I guess you could say I grew up in a broken home. But I never felt like that because because quite honestly, my mom and dad got cooler when they wasn't together. You understand? Like, so when they was, once they split up, cooler heads prevailed, and so they were able to communicate better, or what have you. So it really wasn't that much tension, even though I was here and there. That was mainly because dad moved, mom moved. I'm with my grandma. I don't want to switch schools and all that, And so I was probably grew up in a broken home, but it didn't feel broken because the love was always there. It wasn't like my pop abandoned me. Or was like a sometime father, you know what I mean, or weekend dad, you know what I mean. He was always around. Even times I didn't see him because he did live in Philly for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like he lived out of state for a little bit, but he was always there. You know what I mean? I didn't have to worry about my dad not being there. You know what I mean? So it never felt like a broken home to me. You know, to me, that term used to, you know what I mean, I felt some type of way growing up because that's what people would still classify me as growing up in, as a broken home. But I'm like, you know, their relationship just ain't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The home, like, the love isn't broken. The love for me, they still love me. Their relationship broke. You feel me? But I still got a home. You know what I mean? It still feel like home wherever I'm at.
Right.
If I'm with my dad, that's home. I'm walking right in that house. I don't got to see or talk to my dad 4 or 5 days, 4 or 5 weeks. You feel me? I'm pop up. I'm just walking in. Going in the refrigerator. You feel me? Like it's regular, like, you know what I mean? What's up? You feel me? Like, what's up? I'm start fixing me some food. You know what I mean? Like, it was never like a, you know what I mean, distress. And that goes to my second part of where it could be, it can be fixed because they fixed it. I've seen it done. You know what I mean? Because when they was together, it was hell on earth, especially for a little kid looking at. But when they separated and cooler heads prevailed, it was cool. You know what I mean? Everything was cool. So to my point,
we gotta.
I think
go ahead, finish your sentence.
No, go ahead. I think that's her.
Oh no, we have a caller. I want to get him in.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think that's her.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, nah.
Hey, Willie, this is Thaddeus.
Oh, hey, Dad, how's it going?
It's good. I was calling in saying, kind of reiterating a lot of what you just were talking about. I'd put in a comment in the thread. But yeah, I mean, a broken house doesn't have to have anything to do with how many people are in the house. And I think that's one of those fallacies that they get shared in terms of what people say a family should look like instead of what a family actually should be. Family doesn't have to be mom, dad, kids. A family can be, any combination. But I think a broken house is really about the purpose of the house being broken. One of the things my wife and I always come back to is, the big part of our job is to make sure that our kids have a safe place to land and a safe place to be. And if we're not our best, then we're not giving that to our kids. There's a lot of damage that can be caused by a child seeing their parents tear each other apart. And sometimes fixing that means the parents can't be in the house together anymore. And a lot of like what you were just saying, like when I was growing up, my parents fought tooth and nail, and the house felt more fixed after they got separated.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear a lot from people. Yeah.
And sometimes that's what it takes. Now, you feel me? I was also told that, you feel me, and within my situation, the same thing, that we're cooler not together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe that could be that could be the truth. You know what I mean? But I feel like for my daughter, I feel like we could have did better. I feel like we didn't put our best foot forward. But, it is what it is, because I didn't want my daughter to experience what I experienced. You feel me? So maybe, you know what I mean? So maybe it is better for us to be apart. You know what I mean? But, I never.
Right, and now your daughter has 2 safe places to land. How much more confident can she be knowing? No, go on.
Well, sometimes that's because that's the problem where we get people that stay in relationships or marriages for the kids only. It's toxic, and the kids are watching it. And you got to look at like how we grew up. If we like when you see things that it seems okay, because how you grow up and you see something for so long that you think that it's normal. and they repeat that same behavior. Right. You don't want your children to stay in situations that are unhealthy for them for the sake of kids, and a lot of people do that. And it's like you're allowed to be happy. This situation is not making me happy. So are you really being a productive parent or co-parent, staying in a situation that you know that you're not happy in? You're probably, not to say that you're constantly fighting, but kids feel that tension, whether you verbalize it or they see it. They're not that dumb. We grew up watching our parents put on safe face for the sake of us until like the stuff really hit the fan, and then it's like, oh, now it's all coming out, and it's a shock to me. It's not a shock. This is what's been going on, exactly. And they're very aware of it. So you're better off. And like I get you, Clint. I wanted that too, but you get that to that point where you have to realize that this is unhealthy for not only you and just your co-parent, but for your child to watch.
Yeah, and it's also unhealthy for your child's future partner. You know, and like you said, it normalizes it. If a child grows up and they expect marriages to be damaged, but you stay because the marriage is more important than mental health, you know, it just teaches them that that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so much of that is just about having an inability to talk through difficult things. You know, I mean, we got raised by a generation of people that said talking about money is bad. You know, it never would have been possible or occurred to us to ask our dad how much money they made. You know, but now we're adults and we're supposed to be able to figure out how to have intelligent conversations about money and not have that stress smash into our families. You know, I mean, the number of fights and disruptions and divorces that happen around money issues is staggering. But we aren't giving our kids the tools to have intelligent discussions about those issues because we don't have them.
Facts. Now, can I ask y'all? Can I ask you a similar question? But I want this flip side because I guess we all agree about, you know, it's probably best if you don't go back to that situation. Now, let's say, you know what I mean, that same couple who was tooth and nail, as time went by, both of them changed, right? And changed for the better. And do you think it's possible for them to come back together? Or are they still going to be looking at each other through an old lens and they can never get past the past?
Well, I mean, I think
never is a funny word, man. A lot of people change, and like you said, if the change is for the better, if you've sought help and you just needed the respite of being, you know, out of the situation for a year or 10 years or whatever it took, you know, I've worked with a lot of clients as a financial advisor that have divorced and then remarried and come back together as better people. Mm-hmm. Sometimes just having that time to just be in your own place and figure out who you are as a person helps you come back to a relationship as a whole person. And so long as both of you do that, it can be super valuable.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is if you can mature to a point where you can look at that person with the new lens, with the new them, the new attitude, the new perspective on life, and the situation that you're coming from wasn't to a detriment of your life and your health, you know, to a point where you can't feel like you can trust them with your life and health again. You know, so long as you can still trust them and trust in that relationship, I think you can rebuild it. I think a lot of it is at times it's the stress of a relationship or stress of issues in a relationship rather that make people lash out at each other or do things that are counter to love, right? Or like Dad was just talking about with the money situation. You know, you're talking about something that puts so much stress on a person that it causes them to forget everything else, and they laser focus on the problem only, and then they start to, you know, everything starts to kind of fall apart because of that. I think a lot of that comes down to, you know, really maturity, communication, understanding, and then knowing what the end result is going to be. I think a lot of times people also get in relationships and don't realize what their end result is really going to be, or don't discuss what their end result is really going to be, so that way they can understand where they're going. We all know that, or at least we all should know that people grow, people change. You're going to be with a person 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 years. They're going to change eventually. At some point, something about them psychologically, maybe even their values, maybe even the way that they just look at life in general, something's going to change. So being able to maneuver and roll with that is a huge thing. So I think if you understand that and you trust that person is really on that road to either recovery or understanding or whatever the case may be, I think it's definitely an opportunity there to move forward again with that person. So it's I would definitely say never if you feel that that's still a benefit for you and you still feel like it's something that you want to pursue and that person is doing what you think they should be doing, then go for it.
Absolutely. And,
all right, guys,
also seeking care.
Got another call?
Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Hold on one second, guys. I want to get the other caller in. Hold on. Caller, what's your name and where you from?
My name is Shanique, and I'm from Trenton.
Hi, Shanique. Trenton in the house.
How you guys doing? Thanks for calling.
This is the originator of the question.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I asked that question.
On our answers.
Hello? Yeah, I asked that question because I just think it's something that we deal with. For me, coming from Trenton, often. I always hear the term broken families, and one of the things I've always wondered is when you think about broken family, what does that actually mean? Because when you think about family, there's so many different dynamics to family. But for me, I think that one of the major things is that I don't think people really understand what they're getting into a lot of times when they get into relationships, understanding what their individual purpose is, and then trying to bring those individual purposes together. And a lot of times they bring in children before they even identify who they are and what they want from their relationship. And I think that that's identified. Yeah, I think you're always going to find some broken areas of people's lives. And also finding that contentment within oneself, I think, is so very important. And a lot of times I do feel like, being separate is the best thing, but also sometimes it could be the easy way out. Because sometimes we do have to work hard for something that you really want. People feel because of lack of knowledge, and a lot of parents, I know for me, my situation, my parent wasn't taught to be a parent. So she did the best that she could do, raising us. And then, I start having kids. I did the best I can do raising my kids, but really not really understanding what it is to be a parent. What does a healthy household look like? How could, we break the cycles of generational poverty in the lives of our children. So there's so many different things, I think, educationally wise, when you're dealing with the urban community and broken families, that can probably benefit a lot of people who are separating or don't think that they can make it. I think a lot of it is going to come from our education and putting ourselves in a situation to be taught on what a family look like, what does healthy look like when it comes to a family. And also identifying what you want as a person. Because if you have two people and they're going in two totally different directions, you're going to always find yourself in a tug of war.
Yeah.
True.
True. I think the best part, two of y'all mentioned, is knowing where you're going. You feel me? Having a destination. I think the brother Thaddeus has said it. Have an idea of like your end game. You feel me? You should have an end game. So if the end game is marriage, you feel me? That's too many times we talked about this like last week, in the poem thing show. You know, you got people that's emotionally unintelligible, that's with people that's emotionally unavailable. So, you know that's going on so rampant in our community. It's like there's no way we can progress. So my thing is what I always say: the best place to start is in the mirror. You feel me? Know you, understand you. So many of us we talk about what we don't want or what we want from somebody else, but we don't even know what we want for ourselves. You know, and we don't know because we don't have those like the brother Thaddeus said earlier. We don't have those conversations. Some of us don't have. A lot of us don't have those conversations with our parents. You feel me? To get that in depth. You feel me? Because we're not only financially impoverished, we're emotionally impoverished. You feel me? We're psychologically impoverished. You feel me? As a community, look at our inner cities. Look at how we live. So you know, I always say the first place is start with self, and once you improve self, then you can, you know what I mean, move forward. My thing was always this. Growing up, I was like, always said, once a relationship was over, man, I ain't never going back. We can be cool. And this was from early on. I was like, I'm never going back. I'm never going back. I ain't looking back. I ain't going back. But as I grow, I look and see how immature that thinking was. You know, I can understand it because if it ended foul and everything was foul and it brought you all the way down, of course you don't want to go back to that. You feel me? It's not going back. It's all about moving forward. That's why I say if both people, if you move forward and everybody move forward in a positive direction, then there's a chance. I you know, before it was never a chance with me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now it's a chance. So I feel like I've become a little bit more emotionally available and a little bit more emotionally intelligent. You know, do I still have a long way to go? Of course. I feel like we all do. But like I said before, I never seen a chance to it. Now I see a chance. You know what I mean? I see that possibility, I should say.
Right. But that's growth.
Am I still online here?
Like you said,
you're still on the line, boss.
That's growth because you're not stuck in that mindset of the younger you. Like we all have to grow up in different stages of our lives. Like we don't grow up in age. We have to grow up in mentality and thought process and stuff like that. So every time we experience something, we have to learn. We're learning, and then you grow from learning. So for your thought process to be that, then it shows growth. So if it was hopefully the person that if you were to go backward, it's somebody else that also had growth and they had to learn more about themselves and be a better person. That way, if y'all came together, it will actually work. It's growth.
Yeah. The other part of it is we've accepted a lot of stigma about mental health. You know, we've created an environment where asking for help is a weakness, and that's garbage. You know, I mean, my wife and I see a counselor, and when we share that with our friends, we're like, oh, we can't do that. We've got a counseling appointment. All our friends rush to like, oh, no, you're not getting a divorce, are you? We're like, no, we're maintaining a relationship. Like, you take your car in for an oil change every 5,000 miles, but you expect your marriage to just work magically? Like, no, I need a third-party perspective sometimes. I need someone to be able to come into issues that we're going through in a normal, healthy relationship. Even when we're normal and healthy, we're still not agreeing on everything. We're still not on the same page on everything. You're like, I want to parent this way. She wants to parent that way. I want to house this way. She wants to house that way. Like, having somebody else come in and tag in on that and help us make better discussions is super valuable. But the moment you say you're seeking therapy, people freak out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, even like insurance industry. Like, I was in counseling after, my brother passed, and I tried to get a life insurance policy, and they were like, no, you can't have life insurance. You might be suicidal. And I'm like, no. I asked a professional for help. Like, if I went to the doctor because I was sick, you guys wouldn't have a problem with it. But when I go to a counselor because I'm sick, you guys stress. I think finding ways to like deconstruct that stigma is super valuable to all of us.
Mm-hmm. Son, I think you might got somebody else on the line.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to put you guys on hold really, really quickly. We're going to bring you back in. If you guys want to hold on, that'd be great. I'm going to grab this caller real quick. Hold on, guys.
Yeah.
Caller, you're on the line with GFT Radio.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
This is Kenya.
How's it going?
Red, as two of the hosts know me as. The other Red.
Oh, hey, Double D.
Hey.
How are you?
I always miss this show, and I told Clint, I was like, I had to put it in my phone because I'll see you guys posting about topics, and then I'll say like, I'm definitely gonna call in, and then I'll go to sleep or be doing something else, and then I'll say, oh yeah, I'm about to call in tonight, and it's Friday. I completely forgot. So I wanted to make sure I called in tonight. I thought you guys had a really good topic. You guys have been doing an awesome job. I've been listening in. Definitely some good viewpoints. From you guys, from all three of you, I'm hearing, I think, the last person that was talking, I'm not sure who that was, but just to kind of tag along with what he was saying with the whole negative connotation on mental health and counseling and things of that nature, I think that's just the black community as a whole. I mean, I've been seeing a therapist since I was in high school and nobody knew. Just because of things that happened when I was younger. And it was just a matter of, when I started to talk to people in my family about it, it was like, oh, my gosh, like, why would you be doing that? It wasn't, oh, my gosh, why do you think you need that? And I was like, I think y'all asking the wrong question. But when you're raised that it's a negative thing, you got to be crazy to need that, or something. They breathe that into their children, and it just continues on as a cycle. Like, no, you need to talk about that, and it's okay that you need to do it. You already talk with your friends about it, and they ain't credentialed to give you any real advice. You talk about it, but then you still got the same issue. Some people may need to go as far as needing medication, to cope with things. Things happen, PTSD. I was in the military before. Thankfully, I never got to that level, but I know a lot of people who actually killed themselves because they couldn't deal with it. Their families would never accept them having those conditions because it was a sign of weakness. And I think when you have that negative connotation in the community that you can't talk about things with a professional, there lies a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Even absolutely.
Yeah, Clint, you was about to say something?
Yeah, because I'm glad we're on this topic. I know Willie, bro. I know you got a question.
Oh, Willie,
bro,
that's who it was. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Willie, I know you got a question, but can I ask one more real quick one?
Yeah.
I don't want to go out because it's on this topic. Okay, this was kind of piggyback off a conversation we was having at the end of our podcast last week when I was talking about when I was in the hospital. When I came home from the hospital, my grandpa had called me, and even when I was in the hospital and all that, and people were calling me, and people kept asking me, "Do you need anything? Do you need anything?" And my reply was like, when my grandpa called and I told him no, when I hung up the phone, I broke down. Start crying. You know what I mean? Like, I had to call my mom. I had work. I was out of it because I didn't know how to answer that question. Do you need anything? You feel me? Like that question scared me because it was like I was really scared to answer it because I felt like maybe I don't need nothing, but if I do start saying I need something, I may realize how much I really need or how bad my situation really is. You know what I mean? So it scared me. So my question to y'all is, how have y'all ever had trouble? I guess it's double. Have y'all ever had trouble with asking for help? And if so, how did you go about overcoming that trouble, overcoming that fear?
Wow.
Well, I want to answer this really quickly because the last couple months prior to recently, I know Clinton, I discussed it with you and Willie. I was going through a lot. Like, I didn't deal with my mom's death. I didn't deal with my grandma's death. I didn't deal with my son their guidance was awesome. I just reacted and did what I was supposed to do, quote unquote. So at one point, I had reached a breaking point. Like, I didn't even realize that where I was going to one of my coworkers told me to decide to ask me what was going on with me, because I started getting hostile and angry, and then I was like, I basically emotionally snapped. I was crying just for random reasons. I was on Facebook posting stuff, people asking was I okay. Like, I was going through these emotions, but I never really knew how to ask for help, because everybody sees me, like, anybody knows me knows I'm not a crier. I don't deal well with people crying and being upset with me. Like, I'd rather just sit there and be quiet and, like be there for you, but not really say anything to you. So I'm like, now it's reversed for this strong person that everybody sees and used to dealing with, to now I'm broken and nobody knows what to do with me. And it's just like, I didn't know what to do with myself, because I'm not like that. Like, it wasn't me. And I went to therapy. Like, somebody, actually, my director at my job took me to a therapist. She called her and took me to her. Like, that's how bad it was. And I didn't even ask. She just was like, come on, we're going to lunch. And she took me right there. And she paid for me to go and everything. And I sat in that office with that lady, and I like basically poured my whole heart and soul out. And she looked at me and she said, how are you still standing? And when I tell you I lost it, I lost it. And she was like, what are you going to do? And I said, I need help, but I don't know how. Like, there's nobody to help me. And how do you ask people to help you when you're always the strong one? And it's crazy, because you're so used to being there for everybody else. But when, not saying that people wasn't there for me, but like, they don't know how to be there for me because they're not used to. It was so uncharacteristic of me to be like that. So it's very hard to ask for help when you're such a strong person, you know what I'm saying, when you just that person that everybody goes to. But I had to understand that it was okay for me to ask people. It was okay for me to need people and then not feel weak, because I felt like crying was a weakness. So it was very hard, but eventually I had to do it because I had to get back to me. I'm still not there 100%, but I'm better than I was before, because I was an emotional wreck. And it's hard when people see you as a tough person. And, like, I think we have to understand, too, like, as our friends, if they're used to you being a certain way, they're not used to you being broken. And sometimes they don't know how to be there for you, because they're so used to you always, I got this, I'm going to help you. And when you need help, you need those friends to step up and really help you. But you also have to vocalize and say, look, I need help. Just come here and sit with me. Let me cry and not say nothing. Like, I don't know. Like, let me vent. Let me go sit on somebody's couch and pay them to listen to me and help me with my problems. And it's very hard, but you have to do it for your sanity. You have to do it. Because, like Double D said, depression is real. Like, it's not a white people situation. Depression is real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever really overcome that part of it. To tell the truth, tell the honest truth. I've been in that situation a few times where I've, probably needed help, probably needed some type of assistance or something, and I don't know how to ask, right? Because I feel like, kind of like what Sonny said, I feel like I have this obligation to be either the strong one, the one that's taking care of everything, or I just say, you know what, just forget it, I'll take care of it myself, that kind of idea. You know what I mean? I get into that kind of mood about certain things. Or even sometimes just say, you know what, it'll take care of itself. My dad was a big proponent of take care of the big things, the little things to take care of themselves. And, a lot of times I'll be like, you know what, I can't tackle everything, so I'll take care of these big things. Everything else will just have to take care of itself, and, I'll go from there. So, I think I definitely have been in enough situations where I probably needed to, but haven't really learned how to overcome that. And I won't say that it's out of embarrassment. I think it's just out of just a sheer feeling that I'm obligated to do. You know what I mean? I'm always the person that's the listener. I'm always the person that's the planner. I'm always the person that, like prime example, I'm in Vegas for supposed to be vacation, and it's still vacation, it was still fun, but a couple of my aunts were on their canes. They needed help doing stuff, and instead of making them walk everywhere, we was driving pretty much everywhere. So I literally was driving everybody everywhere, because I was like, I can do it. I know how to get around. I'm not afraid to drive in Vegas. A lot of people were complaining that they were afraid to drive in Vegas, and so I just did it. My fiance kept asking me, "Oh, you want me to drive? You want me to do this?" I'm like, "No, it's cool. I got it. Out of that want to just take care of everybody, you know what I mean? Out of that want and need to be the one that takes care of things, you know what I mean? And one thing that kind of snapped me out of it, because it was something that came up, and she actually made the comment like, I can take care of myself, right? And I was just like, oh yeah, I know, and it made me think about it, like, I do that a lot because, and I think a lot of guys are like that, where we want to be the ones that fix things, we want to be the ones that take care of things, take care of the people around us that we love, that kind of thing. And, hearing you ask that question, it makes me think about it again, is that, a lot of times we don't ask for help because we feel like we can't. We got to be the ones to do it. If we don't do it, who's going to do it? You know what I'm saying? And it is a nasty habit to be in, and that's a bad thing to drag yourself through that, especially when you do need help. I mean, I still don't think I really needed any help during that time. But what if I did? I probably wouldn't have reached out. I probably wouldn't have been like, oh, you know what? Yeah, somebody probably should do this. It's something that we definitely need to recognize and say, hey, you know what? Sometimes we need that help. We need to take a step back, let somebody else do for a change, so that way you can take your rest or get yourself together or whatever the case may be.
Double D?
It's an interesting question. I think more recently, I just lost my nephew in February, and so by far that has probably been, without a shadow of a doubt, I'm not even going to say probably, the hardest thing I've ever had to endure. And in that situation, it's been, it's helped me realize that I've never experienced grief. I've experienced loss, and now I know there's a difference. And so with grief, in this whole situation, of course, my family, like most of you, have often looked to me to be the one to fix everything. And not to go too deep, but it was one instance that I can remember when the incident first happened, that when I first got the call and when I got to the hospital, and my sister said to me, I need you to fix it. And at first I just heard what she said before I really knew the severity of the situation. And then it broke me because this was one time where I couldn't fix it. And so that was a whole other level of guilt and, hurt and like, what do you do? That kind of thing. And when you're usually that person, asking for help you feel is a sign of weakness. And so I've always been the person to go. And when I've experienced death in my family, I usually don't grieve until I'm home by myself. My family lives in Jersey. I live in Maryland. And I'm usually the person who's always on go. And so they look to me to be that person. And so when this happened, I had to be honest with myself that it hurt me so bad that I had to go to them and say, this time I can't do it.
Yeah.
So, like, whatever shape you guys are used to seeing me have, I'm taking it off. I don't want it. Don't ask me to be there. I don't have the strength to do it. This was the first time I ever felt okay with being weak. And I didn't care how.
But it's not even being weak. That's the thing. That's the thing, though, Brett. It's not being weak. It's being human.
No. Here's what I'm saying. You don't see it as being human when you're only used to being that way. And so when for me, it feels like if I ever got into that moment, I would be stuck. So I'm used to being on the go. I don't stop. And if I tell somebody I need help, I was afraid of being in a situation of being stuck. What do you do from here? Now you're in an uncomfortable situation, and you're not comfortable with being uncomfortable. So what happens from here? Because I know the people who depend on me aren't as strong as me. And when you don't have somebody else as strong as you don't want to be in that situation because the fear is there's nobody to catch you. So now you have to figure it out by yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so my point is, it's hard to be in a situation like that because you don't know what to do or where to go or how you're going to figure that out. It doesn't feel like a human thing. I think the hardest question somebody has asked me in the last couple of months is, how are you? A very simple question, but it has been the hardest question I've ever had to answer in the last year. You know, I didn't know what to say. And you just immediately go, I'm good. It just comes out of your mouth.
Oh, I'm fine. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then it's like you not, but you also don't trust everybody with that personal part of you. You know, because I'm also going, then I switch back into my mode and go, I'm not going to tell you what I'm really going through because you can't offer me anything. Because you come to me. And not that I don't think that somebody who would come to me for strength can't give it to me. I'm talking about people who still depending on me, who I know I can't depend on to give me strength because they're still looking to me.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's hard to look at it as a natural response or a human response when all you know is the one way. And the opposite side of that is when you meet somebody or if you come into contact with people who can now be you in your life, it's hard for you to receive that too if you've never had it. You keep blocking it unintentionally. You know, and I think Clint was talking about this before, and one of the things about relationships, I think it carries over into, if you know, personal circumstances as well, like a death or anything like that. Sometimes you get something new, and you don't even know how to receive that. You just kind of, you got a wall up, and you don't even know, like, my bad. It wasn't like that. I've never experienced that. That was something new. You don't even know what it is. You just kind of got your blinders on. And you used to being a strong person, but if you ever get in a situation, I know, Willie, you said you've never been there yet, and I definitely, I wouldn't want you to be there. It's probably a situation where we all, a place that we all get to in our lives at some point. It makes me just feel like you're in a really low place. It is a growing experience, and it's a very humbling experience. I mean, if you're used to being a strong one, I think everybody on this call has said that they're used to being that one for someone or a group of people. When something or some scenario brings you to your knees, I mean, it brings you to your knees.
Yes.
But
amen
you do find a way to go through it. So, that was a good
amen to that. Like, and that's the hardest part because you're just, and I think that's it. Like I said, it throws people off because if you're used to, like I said, you're that person for everybody, and now you have fallen, like, I can't, like you get to that point where you don't even want to feel. Like, that's where I was. I don't want to feel anything. And I'm tired of feeling because this is not like, and I'm like, when you know, when you kind of look at, and like it's funny because I think of a quote that Clint said, the hardest place to look to something in yourself is in the mirror. Like, for that period of time, I couldn't look at myself because when I looked at myself, I took pictures and I posted on Facebook during this time. And I swear to God, like I took a picture and when I looked at it, it was not me. Like, that's not me. Like, you can't even see yourself because it's not who you are. And it's so and it's crazy because like when you say mental illness and things like that, it's seeking somebody to talk to and going to a therapist, you need that because when you get inside your head, that's the worst place to be. Like, it's one thing that like, I'm an overthinker, but it's another thing to be mentally, like Robin Williams said it best, and it sucks the way he passed, but you get to that point where you feel like you are, like, nobody can help you. You're in a room with people that love you, but you don't feel it. People that care about you, but you don't feel it because you're just so in that mind frame that no matter what, somebody can tell you I love you all day, come here, let me be here for you. They can do that all day, and you're not feeling any of that.
We still got the callers on?
You are lost within yourself. Like, that shit is real. Like, people need to, like, therapy helps. That's real.
Sonny, we still got the callers, the other two callers on? Yeah, I want to get them.
I believe one caller dropped. I believe Shanique is still on. Hold on, let me get her in. Shanique, you're back on.
Hello?
Is that their name right? Because you know I'm bad with names. Okay.
That was a good question, Clint. I just think that for me, I mean, I guess it's like an independent woman thing. My mom, raised 4 kids by herself. So I just kind of inherited that same kind of personality since a very early age, just a go-getter kind of personality. But I would say for me, my breaking point was when my brother died. Kind of surprising. No one kind of really expected it. And it just led me to God. You know what I mean? Realizing my need for God. So, like, when I realized that I needed the Lord to kind of get me through, that's when I realized and I understood that, like, help is help. Help is important. God built us for community. God built us for fellowship. God built us with one another. I can't continue to be an island. I need other people. God created me for that. I long for that. So, there's one scripture I always go by when I feel like, I'm trying to be prideful. It's like, you have not because you ask not. So if I'm feeling depressed or if I'm feeling angry or if I'm feeling, whatever I'm feeling, I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to talk about it. I don't like to, hang on to conflict. I like to confront it. And that's just something that's really been helpful. I think, God and my faith has been a very strong foundation for me when it comes to, accepting help, recognizing that I can't do it by myself and that I need other people. But it wasn't like it was a very easy process. It took a long time for me to really get there, and I still have my ways. But at the end of the day, for me personally, it was just coming to that realization that, that God created me for community. And he didn't create me like in an island by myself. So I had to tap into that community for me to be empowered. So that's kind of how I look at that.
Amen. That's real.
I gotta if the host don't mind, the young lady that just called in, I'm sorry I didn't catch your name. I just got a quick question for you based off of what you just said. In experiencing the loss that you did, I know for me, having lost 2 nephews back to back in February and March, my faith is nowhere near where it used to be. And so a lot of times I'm usually the person that prays over people. And so now I can't even look at a verse. I can't see something on social media that says God says without me scrolling past it. Like, what did you do to get to a point of being able to, and I probably know the answer to this question myself, but I'm just curious to your response. Like, what did you do to get past, or if you were ever in a position of not even ready to receive or hearing anything about God? Like, did you feel like you blamed him at one point? You had some questions you didn't want to believe. Were you ever in that position? And if you were, like, what did you do to get out of that?
First, I was angry. I was angry at everybody. I was real angry because I used to try to get him to come to church all the time, and he wouldn't come. He didn't want to come. And I was angry because I thought that I had failed him. And I thought that God had failed me because God didn't touch his heart enough to get him to the church. So for a long time, I was really, really angry. But what helped me is that, I used to read constantly, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believes him shall not perish but have eternal life. So, God gave his only son. And I memorized that verse over and over and over again. Because understanding that death here it's so temporal, and for me understanding that revelation has really helped me a great deal. I only have a season to be here at the end of the day, but me making my mark here and doing what I'm called to do here while I'm here is going to be the most important. For me understanding that God God kind of led the way. He showed us through death victory, you know. So having that hope in everlasting life and having that hope in eternal life, it really, like when I got that type of revelation, you know, I cried out, I prayed, you know, I locked myself in, you know, my character changed at first, but when God really showed me like who he is and what he's done, how can I question that? You know, you were willing to die for people that rejected you. You know, here I am, a person full of sin, and that rejects you. And you know, if I die, I'm not even going to willingly die. You willingly died. You know, so it just that my perception of, I think what happened was my perception of death changed, and when my perception of death changed, my understanding of God was enhanced. And when my understanding of God was enhanced, I was able to walk through anything, knowing that though I walk into the valley of your shadow, you know, I don't have to fear any evil. That I'm only here temporary. So understanding I'm only have a little small amount of time. I try not to get too overwhelmed and stressed out. Every day I'm just focused on trying to make my mark, you know, and it's really helped me a great deal. But it didn't come overnight, and I still battle with, you know, emotions, of course, because, you know, your emotions and your faith is always in conflict. Like my emotions and my faith, because faith is the evidence of things hoped for. Like you can't see faith. You know what I mean? I see hurt, I feel pain, but my faith is what, you know, what keeps me grounded. And you know, for a while I did struggle with that, but understanding that God died, you know, for people that rejected him. You know, who am I to question God, you know, about the short period of time that my brother was here. And then I started to thank God actually for the memories. I started to thank God for the light that he allowed me to experience, to allow me to partake in. And I started to just change my concept of things, and that's helped me a great deal.
Thank you.
Wow.
That was a dope answer. Because a lot of people lose faith when somebody close to them passed.
Yeah.
With me, always what I've learned is, you know, like we're in a suffering condition. Like we suffer a lot here, but it's beauty in that suffering, because if you endure it, you become stronger on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like when you work your body out. You feel me? Your body got to feel that pain in order for your muscles. You got to break the muscles. You feel me? Break them down in order for you to get stronger. And sometimes life will break you down. You feel me? Just when you think you got it together, just when you think you, all right, life will be like, hold up. God be like, hold up. You know what I mean? Like, what you mean you think you got it together? You feel me? You just got to that level. There's another level I want you to get to. So you may have to experience a certain pain that you wasn't prepared for. You know, and I think all of us on here, you know, plenty of times, you know, Willie's talked about, you know, the losses he's experienced with his family. Sonny talked about the losses she experienced. I talked about the losses I experienced. We all experience losses that cut deeply. You feel me?
Right.
But I like to think we all improved. We all, you know, got through it. You know, when you get through it, you feel me? You can see, you know, that pain will never go away. But that pain will give you strength, because you like, oh man, I suffered through that. I suffered through that, and I'm still here. You feel me? It's like that meme that was been going around, that quote been going around for years. It's like, you know, I've lost the one say I lost everything I love. You feel me? And I'm still here. So it's like you can't. You feel me? You just walking out, it's not gonna hurt me, because I lost everything I love. Everything I loved is gone. You feel me? But I'm still here. I'm still enduring. My thing was like when my grandmother, my father, you know, I experienced a lot of death in my family too. You know, one thing I learned is, you know, and they talk, we're gonna get into the Bible, you know, honor thy mother and thy father. You feel me? Like, it hurt me when my pop died, because I wanted, our relationship was good, but I felt like it should have been better. We could have made it better. You feel me? We still had some work. We was just getting to where, you know what I mean? We was just getting to that point. So with me, it was like, all right, I'm going to honor them. My grandmother, I'm going to honor them. And the only way I can honor them is be the best version of myself. So with, Red with Zay, you feel me? I would say honor him. Honor him. And the best way to honor him is to be the best version of you. You feel me? Have him looking down, be like, my Auntie Red is that deal. You feel me? She repping for me and she repping for her. That's how you celebrate his life. You feel me? I'm different. I don't want to focus and back in the day I used to just focus on the death. Such and such died. Why such and such died? You feel me? Instead of focusing on their life.
Exactly.
Right.
Because they live on with you. You carry them with you.
Celebrate their life. Yes. So that's why I honor my father every chance I get. Go ahead.
One of the things I could say what happened to me is like I become so sensitive to other people in that process. Like today I went, to Walnut Avenue or whatever. It was somebody was killed or whatever, and like I can really just hold on to somebody that's grieving and just cry with them, and I could just like almost feel and carry and uphold them while they're going through. I can relate so much to people. I feel so much compassion, so much like sensitivity. Like it's unbelievable how much, you know what I mean? So I feel like me going through like that type of experience has almost empowered me to like kind of like, I don't know, midwife others through, if that makes sense, through grief. Because I like literally people was like, you crazy because they were shooting and stuff, but I'm literally on a corner, just holding people, and just hugging them, and I just feel so like so connected to people's pain. I don't know, it may sound kind of weird, but I just feel so connected with people's pain, and I think that I probably wouldn't have that had I not went through that deep situation in my own life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think and it goes back to that thing that we heard as children and even currently, and it's like and at that moment it's hard to process. Like, and they always, you always heard your grandmother, somebody say, God will never put more on you, the more that you can bear. As hard as it is to lose people that you love immensely, like you can't see you never pictured not seeing them anymore physically, it's that hard process, and you get that why God, why did this happen to this person and things like that. We go through that process. I feel like Chris said, we kind of that in that pain there's that that cleanse of I've gotten through it. Like, not that you're ever going to forget that person, but you survived that, because some people lose people and they want to go themselves because they can't see life without that person. And when you get to that point, it's very real. But to make it past that point and know that you're carrying them with you, like everything, like whoever experienced to lose a loved one, a son, and it's crazy because, Brett, I never said this to you, but I know my mom stayed across the hall from your sister. Your nephew was at my mom's house playing with my nephew. My nephew took it hard. He was like, "Wait, what?" And it's just to see something like that impact people, and you can be there for them and help them through it. It's a process, and I think that while we're going through it, we can, or if we have experienced some type of, not that we experienced losing a nephew or experiencing losing a mom. Some people still have their mothers with them. Some people still have other people in their lives that other people have lost. But you can empathize, like Shanique said, you can empathize with that person, and let them know that you're here because you understand and you genuinely understand. It's not that you don't understand because you haven't been through it. We've been through it, so we understand, and you're allowed to experience every emotion you want to experience. Grief is stages. You're going to experience every stage of that. And at the end of the day, people. You're not the only one going through it. Everybody experiences it in different ways, but it's people that here for you to be able to vent to and you not feel ashamed or not feel. And we all have to learn that because everybody feels ashamed. Everybody feels like they're broken beyond repair. They're never going to be fixed. You are. I had the guy I dated. He just lost his dad randomly on some randomness, and it was so hard for the process. And I always checked in on him. How you doing? How's your mom doing? How's your sister doing? Because I knew the whole family. I dated him for years. I knew the whole family, so I'm checking on everybody because I know that experience. Not to the extent of his mom's experience, but I'm telling him to be there for your mom because she grew up in the house. She was in the house with him all day, every day. Now he's not going to be there. It's going to be different for her, so be there for her. I understand you're going through it, but you have to kind of be there for her too. So you kind of you're that voice of comfort to somebody else that's going through what you went through, because at some point you're making steps to move forward, not forgetting but remembering their life and honoring their life, but also being there to be there to help somebody else. That pain, like Shanique said, allows you to help other people.
Right. Willie, I'm sorry, bro.
I'm sorry. We need to get it. No, but you know what? This is good.
I forgot all about the Willie Styles up in here. So it's really good. I enjoyed the conversation. Definitely love having all the callers call in, and I was gonna prime up a question, but I can't really think of anything that's super short. But just all this means we just need a round 3, so we'll plan for that in the future, and I'll just make sure I come in first.
Yeah, I was going to say we can do a part around 2 continue next week because I know we got 4 questions, but they were really good questions.
They were. And I snuck in some sub questions though. I was in here.
I think this was therapeutic. I think it was very therapeutic.
Yes, it was.
So
I always enjoy those conversations like these because, like you said, it's therapeutic, and I know that felt good for Red to get that off her chest.
Absolutely.
Just to speak on it. I know. You feel me? I can tell from listening to Shanique, felt good for her to say that and to be able to give, you know what I mean? Like you were saying, when you experience something and you get through it, you know, you can share. You feel me? You can share.
Mm-hmm.
Just like how Red was able to actually, and she was able to share it, and hopefully that helped Red, and hopefully we all helped each other. And that's what this show is about. This is Grown
Absolutely.
Radio. And you know,
yes, thank you all for calling in. 7 questions.
Yes.
And don't be a stranger, guys. Call in.
Right. Yes.
And Ray, whenever you want to guest host, come on back.
Yeah. Too, Shanique. You want to guest host too?
Yes, you want to guest host, let us know. If you see a topic, you want to get a topic you want to. And that's the thing, you guys can suggest topics. You want a topic you want to talk about, we can talk about it. We can bring you on, and we'll talk about it. It's not a problem. No topic is off limits. So,
quick question. We got quick question. How old? Because y'all two got daughters. All of us, y'all, Sonny, Willie, y'all got daughters.
Yeah.
How old was they when y'all let them start doing their own hairstyle?
What do you want to go first?
I want to say my oldest and my middle daughter both were probably around 8 or 9 when they started doing their own hair. My second oldest daughter, she never liked having her hair really done, so she was, we pretty much had to force her. But yeah, about 8 or 9, I think it was, when they kind of took charge of what they wanted their hair to, to kind of look like and do it themselves. My youngest daughter, she still doesn't really do her own hair, but she definitely directs that traffic for herself. She's been doing that for probably the last 3 or 4 years, so probably when she was about 10 as well. So yeah, so it's about that time.
Yeah, my daughter about 10. I think my daughter did it about 10, but she wasn't listening to the part of always moisturizing your hair, so when you put heat to your hair won't break off. So I had to teach her how to grow her hair back. Thankfully, she successfully took to that knowledge. If I don't know how to do anything else, I know how to grow your hair. So I told her how to grow her hair back, and now she has healthy, long, thick hair, and she knows how to. She actually knows how to style it more now, and she knows the significance of protecting your hair when you're doing it. But she started at 10.
Okay.
My daughter is 6, and she don't like nobody touching her hair. I mean, I have a hard time with this. I'm ready to cut it off personally. But yeah,
is she tender-headed or what is it?
Yeah, she's very tender-headed. She doesn't like you touching it. If you try to brush it.
That's how my niece was.
Yelling.
But
That's
she
how
wants
my
to be a
niece
hairdresser.
was. My sister. Huh? She wants to be a hairdresser?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but you know what you should try? Because my niece was like an extreme tender-headed kid, and her mom used to ask her to do her hair, and she just would cry hysterically the whole time you did her hair up until early teenage years. If she has an issue with, because if she's really tender-headed, try when you I don't know if when you wash your hair, do you blow dry? Because I'm not a fan of the blow dry, but do you blow dry it?
Sometimes.
Well, if you blow dry, they have some of the blow dryers have a detangler unit you can attach to it, and just blow dry it while it's wet, but moisturize it so it'll be less combing and it'll hurt less. And she'll probably still cry, but they have this different detangler. You got to find out which one works better for her. It's like trial and error. And see if that helps, because my niece was a really bad, tender-headed kid, and I used to braid her hair.
Oh, wow.
My youngest daughter, my youngest daughter was like that, and I used to do her hair, and, being a big guy, it's definitely hard to see your baby sitting there crying while you're trying to do her hair, but I'm also the type that's like, I got to get stuff done, so I would do it anyway. But I did find certain oils just work better. So kind of still in the same vein that Sonny's talking about, detangling is the biggest issue usually with tender-headed kids is getting that hair detangled. And for my daughter, it was the oils and right after washing her hair, getting it good and moisturized, kind of detangling it in the shower, detangling when you're doing the conditioning. I don't know if you condition your daughter's hair or anything, but we don't do heat for our daughters, so it was always
I don't like heat either.
Condition it. Yeah, so I would detangle while I condition my daughter's hair, and I know her mom used to do it while she did the blow drying with the detangle unit or with the I forgot what it's called.
Comb it from the tip up. So work your way up from the tip. You comb it out and then work your way up slowly. And it's like I'm not a fan of the blow dryer, so what I do with my own hair, and I tell my daughter, but she blow dries it every so often. When you wash her hair, if you detangle it, braid it up. Just braid it up then, because it's better to let it dry with the braids versus if you're not a fan of heat, braid it up. Like when you wash your hair, moisturize it, and then comb it comb it from the roots to the not from the roots, from the tip to all the way up to the roots slowly. Or use a detangler and comb through it, but softly. And then when if you're gonna dry it, don't dry it completely and then braid it.
We got a minute and a half.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
good.
All about that. But
thanks for this.
Thank y'all for listening tonight. Thank you for the callers. That is Double D Red. And thank you very much for calling in and giving us a question as well, Shanice. Guys, can give out your info.
You already know. Y'all can hit me up on my blog for the poetry and interviews at akingstruth.com, Instagram, kingstruth609, Twitter at eTrentonGruber.
It's your boy Willie Styles. Get at me at Willie Styles everywhere. STYLEZ. Willie.Styles on Snapchat. I actually been on Snapchat this week. So hit me up, williestyles.info for all my links. And
of course, it's your girl Sunny. I am Sunny _D. Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. My blog is unreservedlyme.com. Thank y'all for listening tonight. Check out our website, gftradioshow.com, for all our links. Go to teesprings.com/stores/GFT Radio to cop the merch. Thank y'all for listening tonight. Clint?
See y'all in 7 days.
Good night. And thank you again, callers.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks again. Yeah.